Hi, I'm Melanie.
And I'm Cory.
And welcome to Love 'em and Lead 'em.
Lessons and laughs with the ladies of Dog Training Camp USA.
In this podcast, you'll take away proven and practical dog training advice with plenty of stories and laughs along the way.
Join us as we share our experience from the kennel and from life.
With that, let's sniff our way into this episode.
Hey, welcome back.
Yellow.
We usually talk about our shirts, and today we accidentally matched and didn't even see each other ahead of time. So
It keeps happening to us. It's
Yeah.
really embarrassing for me.
it's embarrassing for me because my shirt is tan and your entire wardrobe is tan. So it's hard for me to match you since you wear 75 shades of brown.
Hey, I like to be able to blend in.
And I mean, it's the same color as your skin, so it looks great.
Yeah. A lot of people, I have another tan shirt and it's the exact, when I got it, I didn't mean to do this, but it's the exact color of my skin tone. So it looks like I'm naked. And I wore it to the grocery store one day and so many people kept double taking at me. And I was like, I can't wear this anymore.
I mean, how many times does a friend have to tell you that you have enough tan shirts and you continue? You just got one in the mail. They're like, but it's long sleeves.
Well, the winter's coming. I'm going to be cold and tan.
Winter is coming.
Unfortunately, just like when dogs resource guard. I don't know.
That was a real bad one.
That was a bad one. They can't all be good.
But we are going to talk about resource guarding today. So
That's a hot topic.
it's a hot button issue.
Yes.
We might actually have some hot takes.
Yeah, we might. So resource guarding is, how would you define resource guarding
I would say
in dogs?
a dog being protective or trying to keep someone or another dog away from something they feel like is theirs or that they want to control.
They want to control I think the other way I would define a resource is anything that is life-giving or sustains them. Obviously food, water, their people that they love, their territory. I would make a resource. I would consider a resource.
People think that resources are just their food bowl,
Yeah.
right? And that's not an accurate picture of resources for a dog. And it's actually a lot of times not even the thing that they're protecting when they come see us.
Usually. Yeah.
So
I mean, toys are also can be a resource, especially really high value toys. If they're like a dog that that's the only outlet they're getting, it's the only enrichment they're getting, hell yeah, they're gonna guard that toy, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they take on all kinds of different things. So it's a very common problem we have. And excuse me. What got us started talking about it is we had a goofball bernedoodle who's an adolescent,
little Benny boy.
come to us about a month ago, and his people were really struggling with him. Talk a little bit about.
Yeah, I mean, he was, first of all, he's just wild.
Yeah.
He's just a wild puppy. So we needed some guidance on leash and manners and all the regular things. But he was grabbing toys and running off with them and wouldn't give them back, would get a little growly, a little snarly, that kind of thing. And so they started the old tale as old as time.
The old bait and switch.
Bait and switch. Here's a treat, Benny.
Yep.
You can have this treat if you give me the thing. And so that is not a sustainable management tool because
I wish somebody gave me a treat every time I was doing something bad.
do you want him to buy you a new tan shirt?
Fuck off.
Every time Melanie does something bad, we buy her a new tan shirt. It defeats the purpose, right? Because I don't want you to have more tan shirts. So again, that's a reward for you.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah, I'm going to keep doing the bad
it's not
thing.
working correctly.
Yeah.
Because you just want more and more, so you're going to keep doing the bad things. And that's what Benny was doing.
Yeah.
it's interesting because in the moment, if it's something dangerous that your dog has grabbed, I mean, yeah, you need to get it away from them. You need to get it out of their mouth, whatever. So in the moment, you grab something, okay, give me that and I'll give you this. But what happens that we see over long-term practice of this is that the dog then realizes, oh, I want a treat. What can I do? Oh, I can just go grab a razor blade. They will panic and freak out, and then they will give me something I want. Yeah. And so it kind of exacerbates the problem unintentionally.
I see it. We see it become just like this obsessive compulsive loop of, okay, I'm bored, grab the thing. Check the humans. Did they see me grab the thing? Humans saw me. They're chasing me. This is great. I'll spit the thing out. And when the conversation changes when we decide we're not going to bait and switch anymore. And then that, like in Benny's case, we saw some more nasty behavior.
Yeah,
that was
really pissed him off.
Kind of concerning. So the humans had called us. I mean, their family was amazing. And they weren't sure how to proceed. They knew what they were doing wasn't working with the treats or sustainable. So we get him in, and he's a freaking goofball.
You loved him.
I was like,
you had like heart googly eyes. I was like anime eyes for him.
I mean, other than he was a goofball, I was like, he's a pretty cool dog, and I don't typically. He's not typically my type. So, but he was cool, and we had him for 3 weeks, which is our kind of typical standard length of time that we keep dogs for kind of common behavioral problems. I would call this a pretty common one.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the 3rd week, he didn't have any problems out of him. His leash training was going pretty well. And he started resource guarding at towards the end of that 3rd week. And I was like, this Benny, I thought we were friends.
Benny, what happened?
I didn't see how. I think his people were, maybe it was their first dog, or it was their first dog in a long time, and it was definitely their first bernedoodle. So they didn't say anything that lent us to believe it was this nasty, right?
Well, yeah, and then he, fooled us for a couple weeks too.
And then so it's always interesting to me, like when they get to our place and they're out of sorts and they're settling in and getting used to the routine. How long does it take for them to start resource guarding? Some dogs, it's immediately. And Benny obviously had to achieve some level of comfort before he was like, let's make these
I'm in charge now.
Yeah. Yeah. So he started guarding his Benny bone on his place bed. So that was like, Benny, don't do this, brother.
Yeah, don't do this.
Do this.
And I think it's important too, like the example that I gave of they grab something and then they run off with it. It doesn't mean that they're resource guarding, right? So dogs will do that just to get attention, or dogs will do that just out of boredom. It really is what they do when you go to correct it that shows if it's resource guarding or not.
Correct.
So, typically little puppies or dogs in general, if you want the thing, you just take the thing and it's not a big deal. Even if it was I'm going to make you chase me for it. You know, at the end of the chase game that the dog has initiated by doing something rotten, it's usually fine.
Yeah.
When we start to get concerned is when we see the snarling or the growling or the lunging, that kind of thing. And then especially we get concerned when there's kids involved. So go ahead.
The other thing I was going to say is that behavior, even though like his scavenging behavior was showing up in other ways. Yeah. Like he had learned it was like such a way to divert attention or get what he wanted. Like when we were leash training him, I mean, we were in a constant argument of picking things up off the ground because he knew if he got something in his mouth, I would stop and get it out. And like in our case, he learned he didn't get anything for it, but he knew before that it worked. So it's really interesting because they really don't generalize that well. So it was super, like from the day that he got there, he was really trying to pick things up a lot. And I mean, he was still pretty motivated to do it by the end. And then of course we had incidents over the bone, but you see that behavior show up in other places, and it's scary when the kids are involved and don't know what to do.
Yeah,
Most adolescent puppies think that kids are also puppies and
yeah.
playmates, and there's no order of respect there. So that's another thing we always try to do is instill some.
Well, and that's what we did at pickup. So we, validated them. Like, we didn't see it for 2 weeks, but now we see it. We know exactly what you're talking about. And then gave them some management of it and just reiterated, like, he has a tendency to do this. So, there's always that risk mitigation portion, because once your dog starts doing some of these things, you might not be able to just fully trust that they're not going to happen at some point in the future. So at pickup, we played with toys on the ground.
Yeah, he struggled
with
that.
The kids, and we used the leash and showed them how to get something from him without doing a trade, using the leash and a little bit of pressure and spatial pressure as well. And then how to kind of manage the environment to, hopefully prevent it from happening.
Another thing that this kind of usually circles back to is we're not using the crate enough when they're puppies. So they're out in a big space and they've been given too much freedom, and then we get in kind of a behavioral loop like this that is very challenging to break
for sure.
A lot of times, especially in Benny's case it was. So that's an interesting thing. One that we're still monitoring. It didn't happen that long ago, but we gave the human some tools, and
the tools aren't just stick your hand in their food. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but the tools aren't just that. It's all of the things. It's the leadership. It's the manners at the door, not jumping on us, parameters around, who goes where first, couch manners, just all of the leadership things, so that at least the dog knows, oh, these people are actually in charge around here, and I don't have to resource guard, excuse me, because I'm going to get the things that I need.
Yeah. Consistency and repeatability are part of the structure, and the dog does not feel like it has to get what it wants using these things. So
the thing that I want to make sure everybody knows is people just think, oh, resource guarding, oh, he's guarding his food. And we've seen a lot of cases where it's not just food, and it might even be something random. So like you said, resources are anything that is providing them life, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to kind of think out of the box as far as food and water, of course, but like their crate sometimes, or their dog bed. Like that's their place of comfort. They want to make sure nobody's bothering them there. We've seen a lot of cases of dogs resource guarding humans from another human in the house. We actually sent home a dog that was resource guarding a kid that the mom babysat.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. He, the dog loved this kid like in an unhealthy way.
Yeah.
And was resource guarding the actual child. Well, that is super unsafe. So thank heavens they, came and we have helped them, and the dog is doing much better, and they realize like the situation and what could happen, and they're doing a great job of managing it and make sure everybody's safe. But he was guarding somebody that's not even in the family.
Yeah.
We've seen dogs guard toys. We've even had a dog guarding an area of the house, the corner of the people's kitchen, and they were throwing ham into the corner of the kitchen so that they could walk past the dog because he was growling, lunging, and resource guarding the corner of the kitchen. Yeah. So it can transfer and look different ways, but it's guarding at the end of the day.
Yeah, it snowballs. If anybody's worked with us, like one of our rules that we stand on, that's a pillar of our training, is your dog owns nothing.
They ain't paying the mortgage.
Not his bed, not his collar, not his own body, right? Like we kind of operate from the get-go with this. This is these resources, I'll call them that, are mine. I'm the human. I can have them whenever I want. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we are putting our hand in the food bowl repeatedly and kind of trying to do this by repetition. It's just, if you're guarding your dog bed, well, I'm just going to go ahead and take it. And we're not going to argue about it necessarily, but we're going to find a different outlet for that energy. And then maybe we can reintroduce it. Something as high value as a dog bed. So, talk to a little bit about what we were talking about. This kind of frustrates us. It's the common misconception. People will sit down with us with a new puppy and say, I can put my hand in the food bowl.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. He tolerates it really well. And talk about how that backfires.
Well, I think there are different ways that a dog comes into this behavior of resource guarding. Like, there's some breeds are prone to it.
Mm-hmm.
So breeds, you brought up Pyrenees. So guardian breeds, Pyrenees, some German Shepherds, Anatolians, things like that. Are prone to guarding in general. Like that's what
genetically
God put them on earth to do, is to guard things. And so it's not a big leap that they would guard something else other than, their charge that they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend Shannon had some problems with her perfect livestock guardian dog Pyrenees that was guarding his food from the goats when the food was out, which could be disastrous.
Yeah. So like that was a complex problem where like a human might think this dog is here to protect the goats. Doesn't he know?
He would never attack them.
Yeah. And really, the food bowl comes down, the goats come near it. It's not surprising.
So she had to take steps for that. But so there's breeds that are a little more prone to it. There's environmental factors. So if they came from a scarcity and had to fight for their food, like a large litter of puppies and had to fight for their food. And so there's some of that because they were actively having to guard their portion
in their
so that they can live.
Prime developmental stages.
Yeah, so that they can live. There's trauma that can bring it about. And then sometimes it's just a quirk of the dog. So, as far as when you get a puppy, people think, I'm going to make sure that he never has this. Well, I think about myself. I don't resource guard just in general, but if somebody was always taking food off of my plate, I would be a little guarded, right?
Yeah.
So
we've definitely seen it those approaches make things worse, more so than better.
Like they didn't have the idea that somebody would ever even take their food. And now all of a sudden they're like, holy crap, what do you mean? My mom might actually take my food?
Yeah.
So it's like planting the seed.
Well, the people that approached us, again, another bernedoodle recently, that was standard, a huge dog. The guy got on video of the dog actually coming over him and attacking him. And they were like, what do we do about this? And they were lucky enough to get it on video and they showed it to us. And what was the guy doing? He was standing over the dog.
Over the top of the dog and the food bowl.
And talking to him.
Yeah.
And petting him. And I think months and months and months of that. The dog was an adult by this point. The dog's like, well, I've had it. And
the dog's like, oh my God, I don't want to have to be vigilant. I just want to eat. And we feel the same way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, humans feel the same way. So I don't know. I feel icky about, like, why are we provoking them in the first place?
Yeah, yeah. So if somebody comes to us with a resource guarding problem, the first thing is not, I think we get down the line in training after the boundaries are established, the leadership is established, the routine is established. We get to that little bit of provoking part, right? Like I need to make sure if there's kids in the house that I can take something from this dog and under these conditions. And I need to be able to report that back to the people, what's going to be safe and not safe. So I'm not going to sit here and say I've never done this. However, I do all the legwork before it.
Right.
I'm not going to trigger a dog like this on purpose with no relationship or no legwork on it. So, that's what we typically find is the most successful.
Well, and again, I've seen the TikTok trainers have a plastic arm on a stick and they're shoving it in the food bowl and the dog just viciously attacking it. And to me, all that is doing is getting that dog in a headspace that dog cannot learn.
No.
He's gone completely blacked out,
Yeah.
and he's enraged, and it's primal. And so what progress is that making?
There's no positive association happening by
Right.
triggering them like that.
Well, and two, if your dog responds like that, let's just be perfectly honest. No matter how much training your dog has had, are you gonna do that at home? Or are you gonna put your kid in a situation where the kid is next to the dog food bowl after some of these behaviors? Like, you're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
You're gonna use the leadership, some desensitization, like calm, not provoking them.
Yeah.
And you're going to mitigate the risk by using a crate or feeding them somewhere else or whatever. So at the end of the day, I feel like it's just kind of stressing out the dog for not much of a gain, because it's not going to be bulletproof regardless.
Yeah, it becomes counterproductive. The example of back tying a dog to a place and throwing treats, so you get something we were reading on this. We were like, this is on the internet. You set the back tie the dog, which means you tie the leash to the dog and attach it to a fixed thing so that the dog has limited space. And you do that, and you give him the food bowl. And what did it say?
And then you walk back and forth in front of the food bowl and throw them hot dogs, so they can't get to you to attack you because they're back tied, and you're showing them that you're gonna leave them alone.
What is the purpose of the reward, though? Is it to distract, or is it you throw? Did it say that you throw the reward when the dog looks away?
The
higher value
Yes.
reward than the actual kibble. Yeah.
Look, I can't even execute telling how to do this because we are not going to do this.
The other thing that we were talking about is like even just putting a dog in a back tying situation. In my military life, where I was training dogs to do things like we're harnessing drive and asking them to do things that are proactive rather than like just sitting there passively, which is what we would like. I'm using a back tie to intentionally frustrate the hell out of them and get a behavior that I want. So I see a lot of back tying with pet training, and I always have to wonder, is that really getting the results we want, or is the dog getting so frustrated that it's shutting down and that's what we think we want, right? So we've talked a lot before about we have so much better results and happier dogs and really happier clients when the dog has learned I can make this choice and a good thing happens, rather than I've been beat down and frustrated for so long and I'm just going to lay here because I'm defeated.
Well, the thing about the back tying and doing some of this desensitization with throwing food at the dog and whatnot, it has to be done like perfectly.
The timing has to be executed.
It has to be perfect. The conditions and the timing of it have to be spot on for it to be effective. And by effective, I mean even so it doesn't go the opposite way and cause more trouble. So like you said with the frustration. So there's all these things, how to fix resource guarding. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want you to Google and try to do that.
Well, that article we were reading about this from a reputable behavioral and training organization said, it said multiple times in the article, I'll give them this, that
contact a trainer,
a professional. But that's not what's happening. Let's be honest.
No. And what's happening is that they're getting into these cycles and then calling us after it's gotten so bad that the dog's bit a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So
frustrating.
We have definite feelings about messing with your dog's food and whatnot. We just don't do it. Like, I don't even want them to think that somebody's going to take their food and they have to guard it.
Yeah. In the first place.
Also, the other thing is when it comes to resource guarding, us humans do it all the time.
Humans are territorial just like dogs.
So I again, here we go back and circle back around to my favorite thing. Why are we expecting more out of our dogs than we are other humans? Now, I don't want the dog to bite us, but I will tell you right now, it's just as dangerous for somebody to go into my daughter's room and get the cookies that she put in her bedroom because she knows that there's boys in the house that will eat them if they see them. So she takes her resource of cookies and puts it in her bedroom. And by God, it's just as dangerous to go up there and try to get one of those cookies.
I'm very scared of your daughter.
So it's resource guarding nonetheless, right? So we do it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And in that situation, like the scary part of to me is like the emotion, like not that she's going to swing, although it's your kid, she might. But I mean that the instability of, you know, the when the emotions run high, who ate the cookie, you know, like that is just.
It triggers.
Yes.
It triggers.
Yeah. So,
yeah. I don't know. I think that everybody's always watching out for their resources. So we probably don't need to be intentionally causing that conflict. Now, we don't want to let them bite, and we need to teach them that you can't just do whatever you want. But 90% of that happens away from their food bowl and away from their resources in the beginning anyway, to begin with. So it's not happening. The fix to these things is not happening at the food bowl.
When we edit this, I'm going to just copy and paste this so that last 7 to 8 seconds it just replays several times so that people can hear it. This problem is not solved by training around the food bowl. It's just not.
No.
So stop doing it.
It's not solved at the food bowl. It's not solved at the treat container. It's just not. And I don't know. We don't use any treats, yada, yada. I don't villainize treats, whatever. They're great. They have a purpose. But there's something counterintuitive to me about trying to fix guarding food by using food.
It's like smoking the whole pack of cigarettes.
Like there's just something,
Matt's nodding his head.
That doesn't add up to that. Like I'm going to fix this food guarding problem by giving them food and having them constantly looking to me for food.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something about it just rubs me wrong. It's true.
It is true.
So we have another breed, actually, that I looked this up in the Google machine. Another breed that is sometimes prone to resource guarding. Now, don't come at me. Okay. It was on the internet, so it has to be true, everybody. Is a Cocker Spaniel.
Oh, yeah.
And we just had a Cocker Spaniel that we worked with that was resource guarding. And he's resource guarding humans.
Straight up dick. His parents his mom would agree.
Yeah.
And it's okay. We're fine.
So the husband bought this dog for his wife for Valentine's Day. And it was an under-socialized breeding dog. We've talked about this before. Harken back to Guinness, Nala. We've talked about a lot of these dogs. We've worked with a ton of them. So he was under-socialized. I don't know if he was kept in a crate. I mean, I don't know. But what we do know is that his resources were so scarce that even human attention was a resource to him.
Yeah.
And so his dad picked him up, and his dad was the first human that actually loved him, I guess, and took him home and said, Happy Valentine's Day. And he promptly bit the wife. Yeah. So she's a badass. We love her so much.
Yeah.
But that's what it came down to, is that he met the husband. They had a great day, and he was like, this is my human, and I will keep him forever, and I shall call him Squishy.
Yeah.
And then when they introduced him to the wife, he better.
Well, in this case, resource guarding was the default behavior to any sort of stress. So as soon as they dropped this dog off at camp, we made great progress with him. We love him. He comes back all the time. But even like by the end of that, the people had gone, and what we do is ignore them like for a while. Dog in this case.
Yeah, ignore the dog.
So that they can get all the information they need without, us crossing their boundaries that quickly. And I mean, the first probably 30 minutes, he had picked one of the trainers in there and was sitting on their feet guarding it.
Guarding
right?
them.
Because I don't know what else to do with myself, but I know this has worked for me before and has kept me alive, right? And he still does it. He still guards his mom. She dropped him off to me the other day. I go in to take the leash, and he's,
yeah,
and
he's
gets
guarding whatever person is his current person.
Yeah, like he can't bust out of this, and we manage it, like I said, and he's great. And I think his stress level is exponentially lower.
Oh, for sure.
And his life is fine.
And they know how to handle him.
Yeah.
But we overcame he hates his new mother.
Yeah,
so,
we did.
You know, when we're looking at the spectrum of it, it's like he's now able to live in his home successfully, and he's able to be boarded and worked with by us successfully.
Well, it's just, you know, the difference between a case like Benny, where he got into our place and was like, what are these ladies all about? Actually, I'm going to bite you, you know, 3 weeks later, essentially. Yeah. And then a dog like Blue, where it's an instantaneous stress response that he obviously could not help. That was, you know, sad, but
yeah, we made progress. But guess what? You can't make resource guarding progress at the food bowl when they're not guarding food either.
Yeah.
So that's the other part. So we had to use all of those leash walking, leadership, manners, all of those things, play, like fulfilling him so that we could make progress with him.
Correct.
I mean, we have a little resource guarding issue at our house. Actually, both of our dogs can tend to do these.
My dog is literally an angel.
Oh. Do you have another dog I haven't met? You have a second dog that I'm unaware of?
It's perfect.
So Kevin, again, came out of a real bad situation, had no resources.
Competitive.
He's a English lab. He is actually a literal angel. So you can go ahead and agree with that because you know that that's true. But again, he had a food scarcity thing. I'm sure of it.
Yeah,
and
he was shy and got picked on in the pack. Like, you just by his demeanor, you know that's what happened to him
for sure. And so in our household, we have a lot of cats because I'm a cat lady, and we usually everything is fine. And I mean, we were aware of his environment, but we'd never seen any signs that we needed to be careful around food time or whatever. Well, I filled up his bowl one day, and my cat, Little P, walked past him, and she was very small, and he lashed out and grabbed her. And of course, that results in a scream from me, and he dropped her, and he was like, oh my God, Mom, I'm so sorry. I lost myself for a minute. She was fine. But ever since that, because what I realized is that this poor dog is eating, and he's trying to eat, but he's really stressed out.
Yeah.
Like, so he wasn't growling. He wasn't doing the typical signals. But when he lashed out at her when she walked past, I realized, oh, he's being vigilant while he's eating. And then I thought, well, he can't even eat in peace because he's worried about this. So instead of making him worry about this with all these cats around, let's just feed him in his crate.
Yep.
And so number one, it's safe because we know that nothing's going to happen in his crate. And number two, he can actually relax in there and not have to feel like he's being vigilant, and he can eat peacefully. And so that's what we've done ever since. So again, did we work on the resource? Like, am I going to go put my hand in his food? No, because that's just going to make him more stressed out. I'm going to fix the problem by making it safer for everybody and letting him take a little breather. So it doesn't always have to be like a big sexy fix. You can sometimes just mitigate the problem, like
big sexy
arm in the Rottweiler food bowl, and
look how
growling.
I'm a man. Look how tough I am.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Like, let's do the thing where we just make sure everybody feels safe and supported. Let's bring it back. Let's do a group hug.
I don't want to do that, but
also let's talk about your turd dog.
She guards my kid, and I'm fine with it.
That I'm fine with her guarding because it's appropriate. I am speaking of the fact that no one has been able to have Bones out for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Because she collects them, takes them from the other dogs.
She knows what she wants.
And collects them.
I respect it.
And then if they want one, she'll get a little growly. So that is a more obvious sign,
Yeah.
right? That she's resource guarding. Some dogs do collect resources.
Yes, they do.
And hide them.
In all honesty, like I've had her so long and we have this, I know her so well. I know her like the back of my hand. So I know how far I can push these kind of problem behaviors
Yes.
with her, right? And we know, okay, it's time the bones got to come up.
Yeah, so it just happens.
But also, bones don't come out unless we're in the room.
That's
again
true.
another management stopgap.
So I had gotten a bone out because I had gotten 2 bones out. I was like, okay, you guys, I was in the house working, gave them both a bone. Everybody was fine. And I even like relaxed a little on it and I left him out. And it was probably a week. The first thing she did was start taking the one from Kevin. And then, of course, I feel bad. And I already know Kevin will react because we've seen it in the past.
Yep.
So now my guard is up. And then I saw her do it and he walked past her and she growled. And so I immediately went over and took the bone. I was like, well, it was good while it lasted, Stella Marie.
Yeah.
You've now lost your bone privileges.
This is actually the dog that's on our podcast cover.
Oh, it is
the one we're talking about.
She is on our podcast cover.
Yeah.
She is a good girl. As far as the guarding your kid, it's not the same as what our clients were seeing.
No,
with the guarding.
She just gets nippy and
she wants to make it known that any raucous behavior around her favorite almost 4-year-old is not acceptable. And she barks at us and whatnot.
Yeah. And like one time when my kid was a baby, she I don't remember why she guarded my kid from me. And we had a conversation about that, and that was it. And it wasn't. I didn't have to do anything, right? But it was all it was I stepped in near the kid. I knew the dog wasn't going to bite me at this point. It's freaking my dog, and I removed the dog away from the kid. Didn't make a big deal out of it, and kept doing what I needed to do with my child.
Yeah.
And my dog sat there and was like, "Well, shit, that didn't work. I guess I won't do that again." But I was stern enough and
direct,
decisive enough that she knew, oh, okay, this is fine.
But again, it all circles back to the lesson wasn't taught in that moment.
No,
the lesson was taught in how you interacted with and raised and got to know that dog and the activities you've done together and the rules that you've established. The fix does not happen at the point of conflict.
Dropping truth bombs.
It's true. The fix does not happen at the point of conflict. And these are not mechanic issues where I don't have any other problems. It's just this resource guarding.
Yeah.
Everything else in the world is fine. Well, no, it's not. Just because it's not bothering you doesn't mean it's fine.
Or it's not stressful for your dog. Like, come on.
That's what I mean. Like, your dog is not fine if this is happening. So in some way, shape, or form, can we fix it? I hate that word. We're not mechanics. Can we make marked change and improvement and allow everybody to live happily and safely? Yes. Can we eliminate it? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. But at the end of the day, the goal is that everybody stays in their home, everybody lives safely and happily ever after. And that we can do.
Hell yeah, brother. Rip Hulk Hogan. I miss him a lot.
I know.
We've gone a little long on this.
That's what he does, right? Hulk Hogan.
He
says something too, but I don't remember. He said something too.
Either.
Yeah, R.I.P. man.
We might have to do a part 2 on this because we've gone way too long. But thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
See you later,
folks.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Love 'Em and Lead 'Em. If you want to hear more, be sure to check us out every other week on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Please be sure to follow us on Instagram at Dog Training Camp USA Louisville and check out our website at dogtrainingcamplouisville.com for more information on our training and other services.
If you need help with your dog, don't hesitate to reach out. You can find our contact details in the show notes.
We'll smell you later.